Every year, there's countless real estate agents that jump on YouTube hoping to generate business. Some channels take off and generate business while others don't. With all the information out there, how do you know what actually works? Well, after doing over 2,000 videos and working with over 100 agents, we recently hosted a private YouTube mastermind with our top clients. In this mastermind, we focus on the 80-20 of what actually works. In this video, you'll hear strategies from Brandon, who closes over 30 deals a year from his channel.
99% of my business comes specifically from YouTube. For me, 80-20 has been
Dylan, who has the #1 sales team in Hawaii, how he gets 3 bookings a week through his channel and his time management strategies.
I think I've produced one video a week for the last 8 years or something like that. I view producing YouTube content as one of the highest ROI activities that I can do.
Along with a few other successful agents who are crushing it on YouTube.
Last year, GCI was just short of 500,000.
Some of the things mentioned on this mastermind took years to learn and you can't find on a course or anywhere else. We're giving it to you for free. All that we ask is that you like, subscribe, and share this with someone who you think would get value from it. Hope you enjoy.
Brandon Guerin, #1 real estate channel in Columbia, South Carolina, YouTube. Brandon, next question's for you. What's the 80-20 of what's worked for you?
Yeah, so I'm all in on YouTube. Kind of slight backstory. I was on a team when I first started that gave me internet leads. I was never really good at cold calling. I had done YouTube in the past with a prior endeavor, and so I just had to learn how to do it with real estate specifically. So I went head on in 2020, kind of like Dylan, 6 years straight without I missed 1 week, and it was long story, but only missed 1 week over the time. So I've been head in on YouTube. I do other social media, but I would say 99% of my business comes specifically from YouTube. For me, 80-20 has been consistency. Now, when I say consistency, it's not just a matter of doing it every single week. The consistency is consistently getting better. I'm very much a person of, I rate myself off of how much further along I am than I was last year. And so each video I try and get better. I tell people all the time, if I go and do the intro, I may record it 5 times until I get that hook just spot on. So it's just constantly getting better at the little things. And then once a year, usually this time of year as things start to slow down, I try and completely reinvent myself and make the channel next level. And I kind of look back of what worked, what didn't work, how can I make it better, do my research. And so it's just the consistency about bettering myself each time, because obviously, 6 years ago when I first got in, you could make horrible videos and still be successful because there was nobody else playing the game. Well, nowadays it's like everybody's jumping in it. So it's like you got to constantly level up. And so the consistency of getting better and better. 2 is going to be, I think Dylan kind of hit on it, is just kind of listening to what's going on and what's important to your niche and your clients. I get people ask me all the time, where do you come up with your content? Well, half the time it's a client tells me, oh, I wish we knew this because I am relocation for our area. I wish we knew this. I didn't know about this. Great. Here's a video topic I can do. Obviously, in the past, again, kind of like y'all, it was trying to come up with these scripts, or obviously ChatGPT has helped a lot, taking that concept and putting into that. I'm very much, and this kind of goes into it too, a script person. You'll notice in these conversations, I'm very long-winded. And obviously, we know with the analytics, it can just start losing people real fast. And so using ChatGPT and turn into scripts has been able to condense what would normally be a long-winded thought into something that's bite-sized that people can take. And then I would say the third thing, which is kind of a little bit interesting that I learned through a training, is deleting old videos that aren't working. This is kind of a nuance that I picked up the other year that, we've always been told, keep your videos on there forever. But when you think about the YouTube algorithm itself, whenever you're watching a video, there's, 6 other videos that are suggested up there. Well, if that real estate space is taken up by one of your videos that people aren't clicking on, you're losing an opportunity for that client to click on that video. So instead of having these videos that aren't getting the click through, get rid of those and move videos onto that real estate page to get videos that people are clicking through. And it's a whole process. I know, that might be kind of a little overwhelming just saying it, but there's a process of kind of looking at your analytics and just understanding which videos people are clicking on, which videos they're not, to better understand which videos to get rid of and keep. And that was something that was very challenging at first, but I noticed my analytics pick up quite a bit. I love video. I love the analytics of it. So that's why it's been easy for me to stay consistent over 6 years, is just because I actually enjoy this part of it. It wasn't just like, hey, here's a lead source, go do this. It was, I love making videos. How do I just make it work for real estate?
Great. If anyone wants to implement that on their channels, let us know. We got
Yeah.
you.
I kind of like that, Brandon, because it's a very counterintuitive approach, right?
It
You
is.
think-
It
Well,
is.
I think reshooting your evergreen videos, your top producing videos, and making them better every time is better. It's interesting to see analytics play out in real life, and like the actual real life implementation. You guys edited a video for us recently about homes with RV garages, and I talked about like major mistakes. Southern Utah, everybody loves their toys. Everybody has a motorhome. Homes with RV garages is a big slice of our desired inventory. That's what people buy. And in that video, I was talking about how, so many RV garages, you have no idea how deep it is, how wide it is. Agents never put the information or correct information in the listings. Several of my clients called me after that, and they're like, Nick, we're looking at these listings. After watching this video, the agents started putting like graphics in the MLS photos about the width, the depth, and the height of the garage door. So a lot of my audience are local agents, apparently.
For sure. I was going to say, so when I go back over the year, that is one of the things I do, is I look again, what videos worked, what didn't. And I think the hard thing is mentally in the beginning, and obviously this is 6 years later. In the beginning, I didn't know all this, is you don't want to repeat yourself, is what you initially think. But when you go look at your analytics, I think 80% of my viewers are new viewers. They're not subscribers. Your subscribers, again, a lot of times they move and they move on. And so you can say the same thing every 5 videos and no one's going to comment, you already said this, because majority of the people are new. And so that was something I had to get over too, because I felt like in the beginning, it's like I got to constantly come up with new stuff. But one of the benefits, again, with ChatGPT is you can say the same thing and just kind of do a different spin on it, of like, let's spin this a different way to give the same information. There is a channel in my market that all they do is home tours. They just blast home tours, and they're the most basic home tours ever. I've met them. They close 24 deals a year and they're happy doing it and they don't want to do anything different. And I'm like, okay, so it works to an extent, but it's like, I think that's the thing. It's finding that cadence in there that works for you. And it's, I've fallen into the trap of like, ooh, let's chase the shiny object of here's 100,000 views, but then you got a bunch of yahoos calling, asking a bunch of questions.
And to be fair about that, that's what our Living in Hawaii channel is for. That's like more like entertainment. Like, hey, if you want to learn about the best farmers markets and stuff like that, like you go to that channel, and then somebody who then thinks, gets serious about buying real estate, we funnel them off of that channel onto ours through lead forms and stuff. So
okay,
so
that's
not saying we don't do it. It's just my personal channel. Yeah, I don't do it.
So that's what I was trying to capture when you were talking about the 2 different channels when you don't funnel them over. So those ones you don't really use as a per se lead magnet. That's just kind of info. That your channel is the lead magnet channel.
Yeah, I would say like we use that Living in Hawaii as like the top of the funnel, right? Like we try to get everybody who's dreaming about coming to Hawaii, wants to learn about Hawaii and see beautiful views and stuff like that. Like we get them into that database and that system, and then we have ways where we incorporate like into our newsletter and stuff, the more serious real estate content. And then we have like a forum about if you're thinking about moving to Hawaii, here's something a form you should fill out to evaluate it. And it does a whole, there's like some mechanics on the back end that tells them whether or not it's like a quiz, right? And at the end of it, it tells them at the end if it's a good idea for them to move here or not. So that's when we kind of get them down the funnel a little bit and then get them into the real estate CRM and then start reaching out that way.
Gotcha. So that one brings them into the newsletter and then they can opt in further. That's
for more real estate information.
That's a cool concept. I like that.
And Dylan Onaka, the man, the living legend. 800 deals closed last year. He has 100 people under his team, and he actually has the #1 sales team in the entire state of Hawaii. So every week, I think last time we spoke with him, he had mentioned he has 3 weekly bookings from his YouTube channel. So Dylan, with your volume, what are the most important things that you do on YouTube that consistently drive ready to book clients?
I mean, my strategy has always been just to provide unique information about buying in this market. And I decided like a long time ago who my client avatar was, right? Like being a highly informed, researched person online that is coming less to be a looky-loo, because we have a lot of that, people that are dreaming of buying in Hawaii, and a lot of people can waste your time. And when you can get somebody who's watched hours of YouTube videos and have followed you for a long time before they contact you, it made conversion a lot easier. So that's always been the strategy. You know, I've always not focused so much on like the metrics of like views and subscribers, and more just providing quality over quantity in terms of connections to potential clients. And then the second aspect to YouTube that's been super helpful is agent recruitment. So I don't know if any of you guys, you know, run teams or not, but a big part of our team growth and conversion is a lot of agents. I mean, tons of agents that have joined the team over the years say that they learn more from my YouTube channel than their broker ever taught them. And so it makes recruiting those agents very easy. So I never intended it to be a recruitment tool, but it just kind of turned into that, where agents were getting quality information that helped them just learn the business. And so we've created other things like new agent playlists. So like when an agent joins, there's like a 35 video playlist that I have them watch, so they just understand the basics of Hawaii real estate and how to answer questions and the most common questions you're going to get. So it's both client facing and agent facing.
Very good. So it seems like YouTube is kind of like a huge funnel for your agent attraction as well, right?
Yeah. It's and the other aspect to it, and we talked about this before, guys, is like I view YouTube as like not always purely a lead generation source. And that's why it's really hard when people ask me like, what is your conversion rate and how many, you know, exact deals do you attribute to YouTube? Because it's part of an overall strategy of lead conversion, not necessarily lead generation. So yes, we do get weekly bookings, multiple bookings a week off of the channel and the link that's there, but there's a lot of folks that come in through other lead channels, and then we use the videos as remarketing. So we send them the weekly video via an email. We have long-term drip campaigns that have evergreen videos in them that we drive them back to. So it helps take a lead that maybe is from Zillow or realtor.com or something like that, and then give them quality information, which then ends up converting them. But then who do you attribute that lead to, right? Like, was it a realtor.com lead, or was it a lead that ended up converting because they were watching a YouTube video and booking a meeting off of a YouTube video that we had proactively sent them? So to me, it's just part of the bigger strategy to connect with folks and prove that we are who we say we are, and that we have the expertise to help them.
Solid.
Yeah, that's awesome, Dylan. Sounds like you're using YouTube to help with the nurture process and you know, convert more leads, and also build the team that helps with those leads. So using YouTube on both sides.
Yeah, and then we have like a library, right, of videos that agents now use. So like if an agent gets a question about 1031 exchanges or something, and they don't necessarily know how to answer it proficiently, like they can just grab that video and send it back and say, hey, here's a video from my team lead explaining it. Happy to book a call with you and talk about your plans in more detail. And so that's another way that we use it, is just to provide that like that longer form answer where an agent may not personally be equipped to answer it. They have a library they can go to answer those questions.
And how do you balance running such a large team and having, I think we have like 3 channels that we manage for you. So yeah, while having those 3 channels, how do you balance, you know, the 100+ people on your team?
Just time discipline. I'm very disciplined about my time and very structured with my time. And I mean, you guys know, right? I don't know, probably everybody on this call is consistent, but I think I've produced one video a week for the last like 8 years or something like that. Like I've missed maybe 1 week in like 8 years. So it's just about like, I view producing YouTube content as one of the highest ROI activities that I can do. So I just prioritize that time block, and people know like when it's my day to shoot videos, like I just shut my door and nobody bothers me, and I get them done, and I try and stack them so I have 4 to 6 weeks ahead of where I need to be. So if I do get busy or I'm traveling or whatever, I don't miss a week. But yeah, that's it. I mean, just being very disciplined and prioritizing the effort as something that's very high return. So
Dylan, how do you block out your content days? Do you have like a dedicated day of the week that you do content, and then you try not to deviate from that, or is that a flexible thing throughout the week?
So I have this like crazy philosophy, right, where I have like personal consequences for not doing stuff. And so one of my my YouTube personal consequences is if I don't have, by the 3rd week of the month, if I don't have all of my content done for the following month, like I don't leave the office. So the goal is usually by like Thursday of the 3rd week in the month to kind of have everything done and pre-shot, or enough at least for the next 3 to 4 weeks ahead of time. And I like to leave on Fridays early and start the weekend early and go spend time with my kids and stuff. And so I kind of mentally know that I have a block of time that I'll do it in that third week. But if it doesn't get done for whatever reason, I deviate from that. Like I punish myself by staying in office late on Friday afternoons and getting it done when nobody's going to be here to bother me. So
your personal consequence is my entire life. I just don't leave the office, period.
There you go. but structure for shoots are so this is it. Like this is my studio, right? Like at my desk, I make it super easy where it's like a no-brainer. I don't have to like set anything up. It's all I gotta do is hit record on my laptop. But I just take notes throughout the week. So anytime something comes up and I'm like we had a tsunami recently, right? A tsunami warning. I think I saw that in the news, but like the video this week that got posted was I just did a video about the history of tsunamis, how we locally react to those things, perspective on how to be prepared, stuff like that. So like when things happen, either current events or I get faced with a real estate issue or some kind of update, vacation rental regulation update or whatever, I take notes. And then the beautiful thing now, man, is ChatGPT. Like I'll take notes and kind of structure what I wanted to say, and then I'll have ChatGPT do some additional research, and then I'll have Gamma create a slide deck that off of those notes. And I feel like the like visual quality is getting better because I have like it's saving me a lot of time. I used to spend a lot of time like putting together a slide deck, so I wouldn't just be me talking and stuff. And so that's been awesome. Yeah, it's been a game changer, and I think elevating the quality of the information and then the quality of the visual content.
My husband and I, we have one other agent that works with us, and we're bringing on another, and then we're like trying to go hard into recruitment. But I feel like it's so smart what you're doing. Like if you have a playlist for new agents to leverage, like with your onboarding, is that separate from your main channel, or do you just have everything like in one channel? How do you have it set up?
So I got the client-facing channel, which is the main one, which is just real estate information
That's
about
the
Hawaii.
Dylan Nonaka real estate one.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I have a level up agents channel, which is just agent focused, just agent facing. And that one is more like if I record myself doing a training or a seminar or something like that, I'll post those videos there. So that's more agent training. But the new agent playlist is from the client facing channel. That's all stuff like basic real estate information that you should know as a real estate agent. Like, how do inspections work? How do you cancel escrow? How do you open, stuff like simple stuff like that. And then we have another channel called Living in Hawaii. And we just acquired that last year. And that channel is more of, I use that as the agents will create content. So we have a little production team that hosts every Friday. They host a show, and they'll like 3 agents will come on. There'll be a host, and then it's kind of like a podcast style, and they'll just talk about raising kids in rural Hawaii, or how do you make friends if you're new to the island, and stuff like that. And so that's a whole separate kind of operation, lead generation operation that we have. That is an internet property. livinginhawaii.com there is a whole website about moving here, and the YouTube channel is a driver of the content for that.
And which one does the livinginhawaii.com get you the most amount of leads, or is that more just like an overall nurture strategy to be kind of omnipresent?
It's both. We do get leads off of that because there's forums and lead hooks for folks to get more information about moving here. A consultation, we call them Living in Hawaii experts that will do a consultation with you. But it's also part of our nurture strategy, because like it's part of our value proposition. So if you're a buyer thinking about moving here, like, hey, here are all the things that we do. Plus we provide, there's an online course that's attached to that, so that we can sign them up for a free online course about moving to Hawaii. So it's somewhat conversion strategy, but also that one has a ton more subscribers, and like we have an email list of like 25,000 people, but we keep that separate from our leads database because we don't want to commingle them until somebody raises their hand and says they want real estate information.
Corey has 10,000 subscribers, dominating the New Jersey market. This is his channel analytics. Just in 2025 alone, he has over 400,000 views and 40,000 watch time hours, with over 6,000 subscribers just this year. Next question I have is for Corey. So Corey, last year, 74% of agents closed 0 deals from YouTube. Saw that statistic somewhere. You doubled your business from YouTube last year. What's your 80-20 of what's worked for you?
Yeah, well, I've heard some expression already about how to dedicate time. So I have 2 components, if you will, in terms of how I record, because I do my sit down conversation portion for the most part in a studio. So I have a really great deal with a guy who has a little podcast studio. Started out, I did podcasts with him, and I said, hey, look, I can do my video portion or my dialogue portion here. So It also saves me time also that I don't have to do every episode on site, in community, or on location. So I can switch it up. So I have a dedicated block every Thursday, 1 to 3 p.m. is my studio time where I'm going to be in studio recording. Now, ideally, I record something that morning if I'm doing recording on site. And I will normally prep all of that with, I'm finding myself using Claude AI a little bit more than ChatGPT. I do have both. I have Gemini as well. But I'm finding that Claude gives me more polished narratives, right? So with the use of Claude, ChatGPT, it helps me to organize and really, some cases, identify. Because I'm very, I love how Brandon put it out there that, it's one thing to throw out something that draws a mass of eyeballs, but then what converts, right? So I'm finding the niche of what really converts, and what I find most people responding to and saying the reason why they reached out to me or why they continued watching was the data points that I use. So I go heavy on data extracting from MLS and giving it to AI, whatever AI system I'm using. But again, I use Claude more often than not, and have it develop for me the analytics of it. What's happening, what's trending, what's meaningful for both buyers and sellers, right? So I've done what I'm describing right now. I've done that more. That's really recent. Honestly, I've probably been doing that a little bit more over the past 6 to 8 months. But last year, I did bump up, the number of videos I was putting out as well. And I from the beginning, just to backtrack a little bit, I started YouTube Memorial Day weekend 2022. Prior to that, I didn't have anything that I did on YouTube in terms of video, but I was very skilled, if you will, at utilizing social media for general targeted prospecting, because I'm not a big cold caller myself, right? So I was comfortable with social media in that regard, but I started leaning into video, and it's just been steadily growing from that point in time. I'd say my GCI right now, coming off of last year, I shouldn't say right now, it's this year, but last year, GCI was just short of 500,000, and my dynamic is a team of, and that's just mine, that's not my team, but my team is composed of 5 agents, including myself, and I have 2 full-time coordinators that work for me directly, right? So I'm at a place now where, because of the volume that I have coming in, I have to really delegate and offload most of my buy-side activity that comes on, and just strictly work with people who are listing, with sellers. But all that in terms of like 80-20, what I'm finding that really, really works is, again, carving out that dedicated time, having a defined niche, because I think it was mentioned up here before, more people are starting to dive into video now. More people are jumping in, right? And I know I'm not going to be all things to all people. I know what my lane is and what my niche is, and people know Corey's the guy who talks about the big 3, and the big 3 for me is just the 3 dynamics that create demand in the New Jersey suburbs outside of New York City. So I've got my big 3. They know they're going to get that. They know they're going to get specific data points that I'm going to dive into with certain markets. And that's kind of who I am, right? I'm not that big character and fluff kind of, presentation on video, but yeah, it has worked well for me. We're in and I'm sure everybody's out there experiencing some elements of a shift in market. We are somewhat insulated in the Northeast because we're so densely populated, and there's such inventory relative to the population here that there's always business. But even with that said, there's a deceleration in the market right now. And my team's doing well. So kudos to, Chris and Paulo for the team for what they do, because I think the videos continuing to evolve is another aspect of why I still attract more viewers, because it's the content develops some as well, but I do see these niches that come in with the video production that help as well.
I'm curious, and you're not the only one that mentioned it, but and anyone else can chime in too, the team side of things. So right now I'm essentially solo producer. I have an admin that helps me with kind of intake of calls, scheduling, with my closings and things like that. But actual out there showing, making the videos, it's all me. And so obviously there's a transition point to go from I'm the guy to, okay, now I have a team behind me. Especially obviously, as we all know with YouTube, is you're the face, they expect you. So I was curious that transition for anyone that has a team of how you were able to manage, close that gap from, okay, I'm the face of it, they're coming to meet me, now they're meeting someone else. And then two, the hardest part for me, honestly, has been the hiring side of it. I've had zero luck. I've been at the same brokerage since I started. Everybody that quit basically went to go lose their license somewhere else. There's only 2 people active and they're not leaving their brokerage. So I don't have this like sphere of agents I know that are just looking for business. And I've done the Zip Recruiter thing, social media. I've even put it on my YouTube channel and just kind of gotten nowhere with it. So I'm curious of one, how you've closed that gap from I'm the person doing it to there's a team member and setting that expectation so the people aren't pissed that I want you. And then two, where have you found your agents best? I know Dylan talked about having that second channel, but I don't know if you had some insight on that.
A couple of things. The first one is I incorporate into my messaging that we're a team, and so people almost come to me with the expectation that they're not going to work with me. So that has been helpful, but that hasn't been always the way it's been. And I'm the master at handing people off. Like I haven't shown a house in 2.5 years or something, like maybe more. So I quickly got over the like they care about working with me. Like I think that's that's something that we tell ourselves. It's like an ego thing, but it's really not that true. And it's all in the handoff. So the primarily the way the system works is the booking happens on the YouTube link. We see that come in. My leads manager, there's a little form they fill out so we can get some ideas about where they're looking, what they're looking for. We, based on that information, find an agent that can service them well based on what they're looking for. And then we add that agent into that calendar invite. So when we do the actual consultation, I conduct those consultations. So I'm there for that. And when Brandon, when the lead comes on the phone or on the Google Meets, we start talking and Brandon will be on the call with me and I'll be like, hey, Brandon's, my teammate, he's an expert in condos here in Kona. He's the person that you really want to be working with because he's going to help take great care of you. You don't want me working with you. I just make YouTube videos all day, right? I joke with them and like kind of play it off, be self-deprecating. And we've never had any objection to that. Like, and then I'll do kind of the beginning of the intro, ask them some questions, we'll do some consultation stuff, and then I'll let that agent then inject, and the agent will be prepared. So they'll come to the call with comps, with information, with research and stuff, and then they'll display expertise in that call, and then pretty much 100% of the time they run with them going forward, and we're good to go. And I always tell the client, like, hey, if you ever want my opinion on this before you make an offer or you get into a sticky situation, that's what I'm here for, is to handle the big problems. But it's never been an issue. So I think that's but messaging that, incorporating that into your messaging, like, I got an expert anywhere in the state that can help you. People come to us saying, a lot of times asking like, hey, do you have somebody on the team that can help me do this? And so it's an easy handoff. I try and focus on not doing any entertainment. So like I view property tours as entertainment. So like, this is my philosophy. I'm not saying it's wrong, but like I have done 0 property tours on my channel because I feel like property tours are for looky-loos that are just like dreaming about, looking at a beautiful property. I don't do any kind of like the 5 best places to eat kind of stuff, because I also feel like that's kind of like entertainment. It's not really a serious real estate. You'll get views off of that potentially, but it's not like a serious real estate topic. So if you look at my channel, like it's kind of just nerdy stuff, like lots of technical data type things. I try and talk about the contract a lot. I just try and keep it high level, where somebody who's doing some high level research on really wanting to know the technicalities of buying real estate and all the different nuances, it appeals to them. So that's it. I try to stray away from entertainment.
Our strategy is a little bit interesting. And I'm sure this is probably a common thing in a lot of other markets. I haven't seen, there are a handful of channels that focus strictly on high-end real estate, where they do property tours of like 50 million plus properties, and that's just all that there is. We've incorporated a little bit of that. So Parade of Homes is a big event that happens here in Southern Utah. It's a common thing, I think, in a lot of other markets. Here it started post World War II in Utah, actually. Local builders started organizing these parades as the soldiers were coming back from the war. They would pick from these houses, and post World War II, you could probably pick one up for $7,000. And then it slowly escalated into this madness that we have right now, where the most high-end houses with the most premium finishes, like 20 to 30,000 square foot homes, ultra high-end stuff. And everybody could buy a ticket. Sometimes these homes are already pre-sold. Sometimes they're just hitting the market. So we go through and we film some of these tours. It usually happens in February, and we bank. There's usually about 30 homes in that tour, and they're not the market average homes. They're like top of the line. And that segment, it creates following. So it's like the entertainment factor of a real estate channel is probably not the highest. So the subscriber churn is a real thing, because often I'll subscribe to a YouTube channel because, well, my dog recently got diagnosed with IVDD, which is a disc degenerative disorder. As soon as I find a solution for my dog to get better, I'm probably not going to follow a veterinary channel. Like, I got what I needed and I got out. Same thing happens with living in and relocate to channels, where if somebody's moving to Southern Utah or Hawaii or South Carolina, they're interested in your channel for the duration of that transaction. And they might pick in and watch a few videos here and there. But the subscriber base of our channel also likes to watch those luxury tours, and it kind of shapes, I think in a way it helps the algorithm suggest your content to those that are interested in the higher end stuff. So it's not my number one lead generator per se, but the long-term base following. And it also generates some interesting followers of the YouTube channel that never convert into buyers. Every time when we go out to the Parade of Homes, people will, like, probably 20 to 30 people in the crowd will engage and say, hey, we watch your stuff all the time. If not for you, we wouldn't have known about the area. We just bought a lot for $500,000 and built a $3 million house on it. Thanks. And it's like, great. Why didn't we have this conversation before you did all that? Okay. So I don't know. And I feel like I was on a similar mastermind, and in certain markets, I know in Texas, people were doing just home tours, like entire YouTube channel consisting of just home tours, and it converted great. And it's, when it's used as a strategy on its own, I feel like that trend is beginning to sunset, because you can only see so many real estate tours before you're like, okay, I've seen it all. Like it all looks the same. Like it has to be something completely mind-blowing, which is, kind of going back to the reason why we focus on these ultra high-end homes. How often do you see a home with a resort style pool where just the pool alone cost $3 million? So people will, that's something that's memorable. People will come back to watch it, but we've kind of stepped away from regular home tours, like even including our own listings. It's pretty rare that we'll feature something. And it's mostly because the seller, that's another thing too, is we generate seller leads to our YouTube channel, and they're like, well, we see home tours and want to see our home featured on your channel. It satisfies the client. I don't know that I've ever really sold a home from just featuring it on our channel. So it's kind of a weird thing where I feel like it's about 50% helpful.
My biggest part of the whole strategy is automation and making sure that it's not relying upon me to send out a message all the time, because I will absolutely forget. So using as much automation as possible. Now, anytime, we get a lead that comes in for the relocation guide, they're getting a touch within, the first 2 or 3 minutes, and then several more until we get something back. And, we absolutely work through a lot of leads that never respond or never answer the phone, never return an email. But with just that little bit of automation, we get into a lot of conversations with people.
Really good. So you have an automation system where it hits them within the first 2 to 3 minutes?
Yeah, it's just a simple like smart plan built into the CRM that I use, and I use Sierra Interactive. I've used tons of other ones, but that's been the most effective for me, and it works fantastic.
And how long is your drip campaign typically? Like once they get hit with the first one within a few minutes?
It ranges from, all the way up to about 24 months out. It touches at, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 18, 24. So, that way, and that uses a lot of smart plans and automation as well. So that way, once I immediately, get in contact with somebody, get them qualified, majority of our leads are, 24 months plus in terms of, when they're actually looking to transact business, and set them up on an action plan, and it will just reach out and touch them every few months or so. So that way I don't have to remember to do it.
What are those campaigns on the 24-month ones? Because that's something I'm trying to integrate now myself, is those automations. And we get people that range from I'm coming next month to 2 years as well. And so your long-term ones, I mean, I've kind of leaned on ChatGPT of like, what can I email these people for the next 2 years? But just curious of what you've kind of leaned on that's making them still stay engaged enough and isn't just, redundant, like, hey, just checking in.
A lot of it is just the, hey, just checking in. But one of the things that I'm transitioning into right now, a lot, like from what it sounds like Dylan's already got up and running, is using my video library to help keep in contact and provide value. Um, from what it sounds like, buying or selling in Fairbanks, Alaska is very similar to buying in Hawaii, in that it's unlike anywhere else in the world. Um, so all the little nuances and things to help keep them engaged, and like, oh, hey, remember when you get here, you're going to see some things that you're not prepared for. So let's take a look at it now.
My name is Paulo, co-founder of YourTube Team, and if you need help with your YouTube channel, use the link below to book a call directly with me. But before you do that, I know what you're thinking. I get hit up all the time by these damn SEO experts that promise to fix my SEO score and get me to 10,000 subscribers and give me the magic pill for success. Let's be honest, there's no magic pill for success on YouTube. It will be very hard, but the payoff is well worth it. If done properly, your YouTube channel could generate you leads for years to come. So what separates us from other companies that are out there? Our results. Check out our video testimonials. We have over 10 on our website, so you can see the actual results we've been able to produce. At this point, we've done over 2,000 videos, all on YouTube for real estate, and we do everything for you, so you don't have to hire a YouTube strategist, a video editor, and a graphic designer.